audience thinking, none of these things are new. The Caribbean has always had hurricanes. Australia has always had the wildfires. India has always had heat waves. And that is certainly true. But it is the whole picture, the global situation, that is new. That everywhere you look, the long predicted effect, 126 years, remember, the long predicted effect of adding greenhouse gases to the atmosphere is occurring. Not at some future time, no, already with us. I'm hoping that I don't have to explain why this is happening. That is the link between the burning of fossil fuels, oil, gas, and coal, and the buildup of greenhouse gases. I'm hoping that you all know that it is our civilization itself that is threatening, well, our civilization. Put another way, we are nyamming ourselves. We are all here in this modern building, made of cement and steel, probably tended to the air condition. And most of us probably got here in a private car, probably even with just one person in the car. Every aspect of us gathering here tonight is powered by the very thing that threatens us. Uncomfortable, isn't it? I know it is for me. And nobody wants to face what's necessary. If you're among the privileged, which all of us here are today, we don't want to give up any of our comforts. If you are among those left behind, those without the standards of living made possible by fossil fuels, you see no reason why you should not have them. Most of us want a Western lifestyle. We can't imagine any other aspiration. And here in Jamaica, as in most places, we continue to build, continue to develop in ways that were possible in a stable climate which no longer exists. What has caused this failure to act? You might think the short-term horizons of politicians, self-interest of elites, the growing distrust of science and expertise, or you might think even a failure of imagination. But while all these things are true to some degree, we have also failed to act because of an organized, planned, and financed program by the fossil fuel companies to spread doubt and denial, which continues to this day. A 2021 study by Harvard University showed that ExxonMobil, currently the largest oil and gas company in the world, knew that its products would cause dangerous warming from in the 1970s. They quietly funded climate research, but their public utterances were to cast doubt on the very science they paid for. Initially, to deny the climate crisis was happening at all. And then if it was happening, it was not because of fossil fuels. And then on to the much more subtle forms of propaganda that we see today, such as discourses of delay, portraying climate action as a risk, when it is climate inaction that presents the greatest risk and will cost the most to all of us, to pretending that fossil fuels are a solution and thereafter onto a range of technological fantasies. To quote from the Harvard study, which you can easily find online, we are all born into a society locked into fossil fuels, not for want of scientific understanding or technology or policy know-how, but because of the greed and disinformation and lobbying of a small group of fossil fuel interests and conservative believers. You might be asking yourself now, what can we expect here in Jamaica and when? Well, we can expect more of what we are already seeing. Debilitating, scorching heat, stronger, more rapidly intensifying storms, freshwater scarcity, very heavy rainfall, so-called rain bombs, where a month's worth of rain falls in a few hours, causing serious flooding. Our infrastructure was not built for these levels of rainfall. Our farmers might lurch between states of drought and deluge, and familiar crops might not be the crops of our future. Our main economic activity, tourism, is largely coastal, but despite beach erosion and sea level rise already occurring, We are building more hotels with their front steps in the sea. Have you ever thought about our two international airports? Both a few feet above sea level. How will rising sea levels affect them? Why do we spend millions of US dollars to defend the road to the Norman Manley International Airport, but not the airport itself? So at this point, you're all probably depressed and thinking, well, this talk ends soon. And I do empathize because it is a massive, complex geopolitical problem affecting the entire planet. And it is hard not to think this is too big for me. I can't manage. But I want to say two things in closing. It is a mistake to think that the world does not change. It does. Just in my lifetime, I have seen huge changes, not all positive, but many for the better. And for the most part, they have been brought about by the actions of ordinary people, willing to do two things: speak out, as I am doing here, and as you have caused to happen by inviting me. And the second thing is to organize. I could give you many examples of the world changing, but I'll mention just one. The change in the status of women between 1900 and 2000 in so many parts of the world. Eunice Newton Foote, that woman who first said that if we put carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, it will cause warming. One of the first to recognize the concept of greenhouse gases and their results. She would be welcomed at any academic conference today. Lastly, what is the role of the arts? What are we doing here today? In my early days as an advocate, I spent a lot of time focused on data, facts. I wanted to be right. But here's what we now know. We've had facts, and we've had them for a long time. The scientists were right, and still we did not act. Still, we are not acting with the speed and seriousness that the threat demands. Every aspect of our civilization has to change. And we should recognize that instead of regarding these changes with dread and apprehension, that they could bring good things: cleaner air, better construction methods, fast, safe public transportation, more green spaces, less threats from weather, a fairer, more equal society, perhaps even kinder human relationships if we can turn away from the religion of consumption. So now I am not focused on facts anymore. I am focused on hearts. And that is the connection that artists are able to make better than anyone. You tell our stories in many different ways. You hold our memories in images and song and dance and words. You reach for our hearts, show us what is beautiful, what is sacred, celebrate all that we love and enjoy. You are our eyes and ears to all that makes up our home place, Jamaica. So, that is your task. Well begun here. Show us what those distant words, climate change, actually mean. It is your task to make us face the unprecedented, to make us feel, to make us care, because nothing else will cause us to act. And with those words, I hope you're all terrified. It's my pleasure to declare this exhibition open.
Thank you so much, Diana. Let me say that Diana has been here this evening talking with the artists and the audience about environmental activism. This team, Rachel flew from Miami and avoided the hurricane. about. I want to mention that one of our members, Susan Ruben, whose work is here, comes over here, but Susan is in Spanish Town because another kind of catastrophe, both that or man-made, has kept her at home. This is a team who have formally incorporated themselves now with a few imports, but Bernard can't recall an import, and he's always down in Kingston Gardens. This is part of the team, and I want to just underscore before I ask Lisa to step into her other capacity, and I thank you. I want to underscore that the mission of this group is responding particularly to what has happened to our school audiences in the last 2 years of lockdown. You will notice, some of you, when you go on our website, that there have been, from the beginning, school workshops, and that we have been doing very interesting work with small communities within school, and we're pledging to continue that. And we're inviting you to learn about our fine art printmakers box, which will have a modicum of the basic supplies needed to teach a class of 20 or so. Whether it's a primary school who are doing a potato print, or whether it's one of the sophisticated things that Bernard and Andy do down in the workshop with chemicals gushing into the air. But it will be a work of art, and it will express interest in their surroundings, their environment, their community. So we'd like you to be on the lookout for that call, and we'd like to also mention to you this exhibition is out for a month. And since pretty well everybody in this room has a camera, you can please take a photograph of one of the works and send it to your Auntie Sally or your Uncle Ben or your twin sister and say, this is a work made in Jamaica. Support the artists, because as Lisa will tell you in the extensive thank yous, it didn't come easy. But I'd like particularly to say that the team here have moonlighted, so anybody wants a hanging crew to hand work, we can climb any ladder that you put on the wall. But we hope that you will come again and have a look at this exhibition. Lisa is going to.
So really quickly, we want to thank our sponsors, Chase Fund, Bluefields Villas Foundation, the JMP Foundation, Island Dairies Limited, General Foods, Lashings, UWIT, University of the West Indies. We have some special contributors. This is Mark Bernal. The Olympia Art Gallery from Ruth Bernard Hoyes, Keith Morrison, Peter Ann Barco, and a very special thanks to our convener and curator, Mrs. Judith Salmon. Because I am printing because of Judith. I met her for the first time in 2018 at a course at Salmon Studios. And it was the first time that I ever did printing him, and it just was like, my goodness. So I thank you, Judith, very especially. And Rachel, Denny, Judith Campbell Jones, Susan Rubin, Susan wasn't here, but we, and Bata as well, who really helped with the mounting of the show. Our PR and operations team, Natalie Reed Morris. Where's Natalie? You're a rock star. And Kai is Judith's granddaughter, and I keep forgetting that Kai is only 14 years old. But Kai. Carice Lawrence, Natalie's partner, and Jessica Lindo and her team. Jessica and her team, folks, please, there's some refreshments in the back. I'm going to ask that when you have some, you just stay back there, because they're kind of stickish about coming over here. But please have some, because I don't want us to still have them when you leave, right?
wonderful here today. This is just sort of like this exhibition has brought, to our consciousness why we have to be really, really careful about the environment and why we have to take action. I'm seeing some of these artworks and I'm just sort of like, getting some interpretation from them. I'm seeing, flooding, I'm seeing hurricanes, I'm seeing, a whole lot of dangers, to our environment. So I'm really happy I'm here today.
I'm enjoying the experience here tonight. Seeing some art showcase. It's been a long time to be getting out here and seeing all the beautiful work and some new techniques that I have not been exposed to before.
I'm thoroughly enjoying the exhibition. I'm a lover of art, and it's truly beautiful to see the different techniques that they use in terms of etchings and in terms of the linograph and all the different techniques that were used. I'm thoroughly enjoying myself.
And I'm really loving the art here tonight. There are some really fresh pieces. I can see that there was a lot of thoughts that went into them, and I'm very happy that I came out tonight because there's a lot of great work to appreciate.
Yeah, I really like the turnout today. I like, observing what people were drawn to. And I really liked the speech that was given by Diana McCauley, or guest speaker. Overall, I think it was a really great exhibition. The layout, the flow is really good. And I'm looking forward to, getting feedback from persons as it pertains to my work as well.
I am really happy that I got invited to this exhibition by Rachel Stewart. Very surprising invitation. Haven't seen or heard from Rachel in many years, but it was worth coming because I was not really knowledgeable about printmaking, and what I have seen really is wonderful. Very fine work, and I hope to be, informing myself some more about this in the future, and I look forward to one of these days acquiring a piece for myself.
It's a pleasure being involved in the show. We've been working at it for a long time now, and to see it come together like it is this evening is a pleasure. I've had some challenges getting my art here to the show. The shipment from the desert of California didn't arrive, so I had to work at new pieces so that it could be in time for the exhibition.
Thank you.